The first idea with that in mind is amplify by simplifying. And the reason I put the comics here is because comics have actually really good at actually doing that, right? They actually, what they do is they have a really simple image, and what they do with the simple image is that they focus on what they want to concentrate on, the particular idea that they want to actually concentrate. So we have this idea that the best way that we can concentrate on a topic is by putting more and more and more information, but that's not right, right? If you think about any scientist, what you do is really to understand a topic, to explain it better, you simplify it. And that's how you understand it better. So the first idea that you have to do is to take your PowerPoints and simplify them, right? And that way, you're going to be able to uncover your message, whatever it is. And comics is actually, that's what they do. So for instance, let me give you an example. So this is a PowerPoint slide from one of the leading textbooks in economics. It's offered with the textbook, right? Someone out there have charged the publishing company a bunch of money to come up with this slide, right? So if I were doing lectures on this, right, well, I would just read from the slide the same way I did it before. Demand increase achieved in the demand curve up, out to the right, your real equilibrium, yada, yada, yada. And then I will give you an exam, and I will expect all of you to actually know the answer. So if I wanted to simplify this slide, let's say you have a slide like this one. Hopefully it's not that bad as this one. Well, what would you get rid of here? You have to get rid of all the stuff that you think you can actually do a good job at explaining, and perhaps leave something there to give the student a cue. So just get rid of everything. This is what I would do. I would get rid of all the stuff, put it in the center, and now I, the presenter, will start talking about increasing demand. Now, what is the benefits of doing it that way for students, let's say?
You keep their attention on you.
They keep the attention on me, right? If I'm there, right, I should be making the student worth the time, right? They're focused on me. What else? What are the other benefits of students of doing it this way instead of the...
What are you talking about? It's right there.
Yeah, I'm giving them a cue of what I'm going to talk about, right? This is what the only thing they need to know that from the site is my topic of conversation, my main idea, right? Now, the rest of the stuff, I will have to tell them. So they will have to take notes and discriminate as to which part of the information I'm presenting to them is important. That process of discriminating is actually very, very conducive to learning for the students. Transferring information from that slide into your notes, right? When you have this, writing this on your notes, that's not learning, right? No one learns doing that. But discriminating based on the things I'm saying, now that's a lot more learning going on. And also you focus on presentation on you. Make sense? Okay, so let's do a few examples of tutorial. Now, I want to also show you some of the techniques of PowerPoint. So I'm going to go between kind of principles and also techniques. Let's say you're a person who you take this away, you'll be completely scared. Oh my God, what do I do now? I have to memorize all this stuff. If there are ways around this, right? If you like to stay in the lecture podium, which may or may not be recommended, but let's say you like to stay here. The first time you do a lecture, you might want to decide that. PowerPoints allow you have a really useful feature. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. This is a 2007 feature of PowerPoint. This is what I'm seeing in my computer right now. Right? You're seeing this, but I'm seeing that. Right? So when you are seeing this, this is what my laptop had. Okay? So I see what's coming up, right? I feel that this is what's coming up after this. I also see I can advance the lecture. I have my notes over there, right? I have it in front of me. So this is very useful. You can stay here. You don't have to be, and you kind of get a cue of what's coming on. And that's kind of a good way for you to not having to put all the text here in front of you. Okay? Questions? Yes, this is really easy. At the end, I can kind of show you how to do that. But if you go to Slideshow, click on Slideshow on PowerPoint, and then click on Presenter View. That's all it takes. Just click on Slideshow, and then click on Presenter View. And all this information, most of this actually are in the handouts, and we can talk about it afterward. OK, so that's one option you have. So let me give you simplifying data is another kind of challenge. So let's do an example of that. This is another presentation by another leading economics textbook, presentation that someone, again, gets a lot of money for making up. And let's try to simplify this. So if I wanted to simplify this, how do I do it? Huh? OK, I can sort it, right? To make it more easy for people to see.
I would take
Nancy.
all of that off and just put the facts.
Yes, right? I could either, you have to decide, right? You can take all that data out and just put the fact. Or get the fact away and just put the data, right? But both, why do you need both things?
Why
Right?
wouldn't you use an image of the world?
You can use an image of the world. Yeah, if that's what you want to. If that's what you want to. It depends on what. So if you want to say that there's different incomes in different parts of the world, you can just put a picture of the world with different things going on, right? How long it will take you to figure out? First, you have to read this, then you have to come here, read this, then you have to go here, and then what the hell is this going on here, right? This column, how does this relate to this? So this is a mess, right? This is has a lot of stuff there. This is what I would do. Now, all the stuff that you said are actually definitely good options. And the PowerPoint presentation, this guy actually goes into then highlighting the second thing. So he has 2 slides for the same thing, and then he highlights one, and then highlights the other one. The information doesn't change. Not really sure what the point of that is. Here's what I will do. I will separate both things. This is one column. I got rid of all the fact. Right? Because why do you need to put the fact? It's clear from the data what the fact is, right? I can just tell them. It's clear here that there are different incomes in different parts of the world. Now, I got rid of all the numbers here. What you want is a visual representation. Why do you have to give them the number? Give them a visual representation of the difference. This is much better. Now, you also can use contrast, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Contrast to kind of highlight what you want the students to see. Right? Give them a little cue about what you want the students to see. So you can contrast the highest one versus the smallest one. Now for the other one, then I will put this in 2 slides. Why do you want to have both columns in one slide? Here's the other one. Which one is better? I'm better, right? Of course. I'm presenting this stuff, so I have to be good at this stuff. Right? So now, this is still not quite perfect, I think, in my opinion. What else could you actually change? If you're actually going to leave the data, assuming that you're going to leave the data. I think there's still too many countries there, to be honest, right? Why do you need so many countries? This is a little better, I think. I might even take more countries out. But let's say the idea is that you want to have examples of countries in different parts of the world. OK, I think that gives you that without having so many countries. So the idea is to simplify, right? There's this concept used now in design, PowerPoint design, called signal-to-noise ratio. Signal-to-noise ratio. And what you want is to reduce the signal-to-noise ratio on the slide. Get rid of everything that is just noise, and just concentrate on your signal. So what I want you guys to do, and this is what I just did with the slide, just so you can see, right? So I got rid of the noise here. Fact 2, there's also great variation in growth rates. That's noise. It should come from the data. You don't have to put it in the slide. Incomes and growth around the world. Why do you have to have a title there? Isn't it clear that this is what you're doing from this picture? There's no reason to have a title. And then just simply get rid of one of the column and then put the other part in a kind of visual way. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a chance to do this. This is data that tells you why your students don't talk in class. Why your students don't talk in class. So there, one way of presenting the information. This is the first slide you have. So the colors didn't come out very well in your black and white. And then in the bottom here, you have a little area for sketching. So this is going to be a think, pair, sketch exercise, right? I want you to talk to the person next to you and kind of write down. I see that you actually took notes over there. That's actually cool. Just write down here or draw how will you simplify this information to make it more relevant to students. Yeah. Yeah, I have another copy. So talk to the person next to you and figure out. I'll give you 2 minutes, and we have to be straight on that because we have a lot of stuff. Let me hear from some ideas of what you could do here to kind of fix this disaster here. What will you do? What will you do?
I like vertical graph.
You like vertical graph, right? So you will put it vertically.
And then just
Let me hear from what you say. So why do you like vertical graph?
it's just easier for me to convey data that way.
Okay, okay. So you would put them vertically.
I would put them vertically
Okay.
instead of having to reduce all the words. I
Uh-huh.
don't even need a title.
Uh-huh.
Just put percent people on the y-axis and peers on the
Okay,
x-axis.
very good. So get rid of all the titles under the words, put it in a vertical way. Okay. Other ideas? Yeah.
Or maybe reduce the percentages, like only do 2 or 3, and then make a pie chart or something.
Okay, make a pie chart. Okay. Now remember that pie charts are good when you want to have parts of a whole, right? So if this doesn't add up to 100, then the pie chart wouldn't work so well. But if it adds to 100, pie chart is perfect. Okay. Yes.
We were talking about categorizing
Okay.
fears. You know, for example, fear of mice is not the same as fear of death.
Yes.
So you would perhaps want to take fear of death, heights, or some kind of a better classification.
Yeah.
To bring these together.
Yeah, that's very smart, actually. We're going to talk a little bit later about position of things. Grouping in your slides allow the person to visually connect to what you want to say. So if you want them to group things together, then you can put them as a group, and they will actually make that on their own a lot quicker. Very good. What else? Sonia.
Well, those two things are redundant, the title and then the percentage of people listing as a fear, so you only need one of those.
Yeah, so you get rid of one of those two.
And then the other thing we were thinking about are a couple of different things. You could do this possibly as a continuum, so then it would combine, I think, what the other person said back there, so
Okay.
that, people are least afraid of.
Oh,
this
I
kind of
see.
continuum,
Very
people
good. Yeah,
are
so you.
most afraid of.
Yeah, that's which is what you want to say, right? You basically, if you put it in a continuum, you can put what people are most afraid of and what people are least afraid of in some kind of a continuum, and that's actually you can actually see that quicker. Very good. I like that. What about the colors? Anyone? Huh? Change the colors, right? What would you do with the colors? What do you think is a good idea? What would you do with the colors? Would you put more colors?
Background black or
Okay, background black.
put colors that contrast more. I would take the black, maybe put a pink, and then they change the yellow or green.
So you get rid of this black here, and then what else? And you
Use colors that are more contrast.
more contrasting, right? So maybe trying to at least learn a little bit about colors, right? And know if there's any relationship between the mic.
Why colors in the first place? Let's just label each of the bars with the phobia or fear.
Yeah.
And just get rid of the colors.
Yeah, if you can. Remember that. So you have people might have trouble seeing colors, right? So maybe you can just get rid of the colors altogether. That would simplify this quite a bit, right? And then just put the names on the bars. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that about the colors because I was working on a presentation for something, and one of the people was talking about how he's colorblind. Having slides where colors are supposed to contrast
Yeah.
information, it's not helpful.
No, I agree. I mean, I was going to mention that eventually I try to not use a lot of colors precisely for that because I don't know who I have in my classroom. So all those things you said and the ones you probably didn't say, I'll probably improve this a lot. But here's my example. Now, this is not the best example on the way you should do it, but there's one way of doing it. What do you think?
Not going back and forth, looking at the colors and going up.
Yeah,
and going
there's no reason to go back and forth. What do I want to say here? Well, speaking in public is really the biggest fear that people have, right? Seinfeld used to say that when you go to that this means that when you go to a funeral, the person doing the eulogy rather be dead, right, in the casket. Right? So this is what I want to point out. So I have two colors, right? Two colors, red, and you can also do black and gray. I think I have. Now, where you use the color doesn't matter. The important thing is that you have in contrast, right? You can do it this way. It's the same thing, it's just a matter of preference. The other thing I did is, I was able to get rid of the word percentages by just putting the actual symbol that everyone knows what it is. So this is one way of doing it. Again, what I did is exactly what you were saying. All your ideas actually will probably work out the same way. What you want is to get rid of all the noise and just simplify. And this takes, takes skill eventually to do that. It's painful because, you're kind of attached to the way you do things. But this is the point I'm trying to make.